Good morning and welcome to another episode of our vlogs. So we are going to be working on this Polo Classic 1.6i head gasket. Head didn't blow, somewhat. Cause overheating, like I explained. Cleaned out the radiator. Was better. Took longer to basically overheat, but still the head. So the customer bought the other head that they want to put on. So we're gonna just basically change the head, but the car's smoking a bit, so we're gonna do piston rings as well. So as you can see, got a sky look. So we're just gonna move obviously the bucky. That golf is now on the floor. So I'm gonna pull that, move the bucky, move the golf, and then that opal type there, that yellow car under the carport. So we're gonna move that also out, and then we're gonna put the polo underneath the carport, and then we're gonna start stripping. So stay tuned, guys. Please stay tuned for the full video and watch the full video. Leave a like, comment and subscribe. And the K vlogs, let's get started. Alright guys, the camera went off while I was busy. Let me just turn the camera around quickly. So I just took out the dizzy, disconnected the water pipes, all water pipes basically, plugs, made the manifold also loose, the flange there at the bottom, as you can see there from the manifold. So here's the manifold my finger is, and there's the flange, the exhaust, so that's also loose. I managed to get the one fuel line off. I must just take the other one still off. To be honest, I'm struggling a bit. It's a hard pipe, it's not a rubber pipe, it's like a plastic pipe. So it's obviously with the clamp it crimped down here, so I must basically force it off, or I'm gonna have to cut it. Don't want to cut it, but we'll see what I'm gonna do there when I get to that. So now I'm gonna just take the cam belt off, and then I will take the tappet cover off, loosen the head bolts, and then the head can come off. Once the head is off, turn the camera quickly again. Then once the head is off, I can just take off the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold, and then I'm gonna put it onto this head that's here. But what we're also going to do, we're gonna put the rings on this car, because this car is smoking a bit. So seeing that the head is going to be off, we might as well do rings so that we know you can again drive for basically forever again. Radiators must now already clean, so you won't have any water problems. But yeah, so it is off, pistons are out. So yeah, so the head is off, it's laying here. So now I'm just busy here. I'm taking the intake and the exhaust off, and then obviously gonna clean everything up. There's the new head that we're gonna use, so we're gonna put everything from that head onto this head. But that is just gonna go and get rings and bearings quickly. They already got the gasket, so it's just basically to clean up, get the space that's needed, which is obviously the rings and the bearings, which is the only thing that's needed, and oil. So yeah, it's just that, and then we can start basically assembling and put back together. So that's awesome, and let's get into it. Alright, now that everything is finally washed for this polo, I must also take off this pulley. Let's get underneath quick. The crank pulley. So I take that crank pulley off to replace that seal. So that's another thing that I must do quick. I must still clean off this surface area here as well for the sump gasket around. I can't tell, you can't really see it on the camera, but there's still gasket material laying there. So yeah, that must be cleaned. So I might just clean there like I explained now. There's one piston number 1 is in also so far. It's not torqued down, anything is just put in. Obviously 2, 3 and 4 must also still go in, but we going in a good direction, so that's good. So yeah, definitely this thing will be leaving today. Also depending on, it doesn't really depend on when my daddy come, I can carry on my own. But I also need to check out this Ranex. So 160. Alright, gasket is on. The crank seals also replaced. You can't see now though. Sump is on, pump is on, everything is fast there. Water pump is also back in place. So now we must just put the head back. The head is also basically must now assembled. Exhaust manifold intake is also on. So it's just to put it onto the car now. And then all of the other stuff that can go on. Now so yeah. Okay, it is on, talking down now, and to be it. We'll carry on tomorrow. Good morning YouTube. So it's the next day, as you can see. Let me just open up quickly so I can show you guys. So you obviously saw yesterday that all mechanical parts are on. It's now just spark plugs, this distributor, well, the cap with the leads, spark plugs, the water housing on the head, and then piping, it must go on, the induction, and then okay, you won't be able to see now, but the exhaust, the manifold, not the manifold, the flange is also still off, so I must put that also back on. So the car is definitely leaving today. I know I said yesterday it's going to go, but we just didn't get there. We just managed to put the motor together. Well, we could have, but I packed up early, so. But anyway, so we're just gonna put that stuff back today, and then can drop the car, run it through heat cycle like you guys know, to do our checks, and then the car can leave. So let's get into it. Alright, I'm done putting on that flange from the bottom. I put the weight back, but Daddy is just busy putting on the last flange bolt. Then that's gonna be done, and then just the radiator pipe is still there, and then the induction filter box and induction pipe. Then that pipe can also go on because that's part of the induction. That's the blocks breather pipe that will go obviously back into the motor. But anyway, so yeah, then basically we will be done, and then we can start up. But I just need to put this belt back on quickly. Can you see? Where's the belt? There we go. This is for the power steering and water pump. So I'm just gonna put this on quick, and then we're good to go. Okay guys, so we're gonna start up now. I must just throw in water quick, but I didn't throw in water because I must put sealer on, and I didn't want the sealer to
I think it comes in steel factory.
Yeah, didn't want the sealer to push out, the water to push it out. So now I can throw water in. And then we can start. Is that this level? Looks like it. Here's this plug. Got it? This plug. It's the coil. Alright guys, so we are ready to do our first swing, first startup, whichever comes first. Definitely gonna be swinging for the first time. So we'll see if fuel pressure is there to start. And yeah, so let's do it. Ready? Can I go? On, off, flashing. Timing is just not set that timing quickly, because I think that's where the mist is coming from, because the car didn't have a mist. Well, when it came it had a mist. When the car came here for the first time it had a mist. So obviously we put the other plug in. That was number one, it was missing, so we changed number one spark plug. And then the car didn't have a mist after that, so we know the car's not supposed to have a mist. So yeah. Oil light is off, yeah. Just under 1000 RPM. see it's on, it's quiet, it's smooth. So now just to idle it and wait till the fan goes on and see what happens. Okay, so one of our problems that we were having when we were putting back, we had to almost cut this fuel pressure line because we couldn't get it off. Well, this is like it's a hard pipe, so I'm calling it the whole time a plastic pipe. That's how hard it is, so we had to cut it, take it off. But obviously wasn't using any original tightening mark where the clamps go. Anyway, so that is now sorted. There's no leaks there. The other leak that we must have was on this housing, on this pipe, but there's no leaks there either. There's only 2 leaks that we had when we assembled, and then the car must have had an oil leak initially. When it came here, it had an oil leak. That is why we changed that seal. But that we'll see when we basically put the car off. I don't see anything now, so it's really not bad. If it should leak, but it shouldn't, because we replace the seal. Furthermore, everything else looks good here. So now we're just gonna wait for the fans to go on. But to save, how do I say now? I basically need to sit here in the car and wait until the temperature rises. It's now at 70. There we go. Let me just put the dash lights on quick. Oh, dash lights is dim or don't work, one of the two. Can't tell now, but there you can see it's on 70. It looks like it's just under 70 on the camera, but it's actually not. But anyway, so I'm just gonna watch the heat gauge till when it goes there by half, and then I'll go check if the fan is on, if I don't hear it inside the car. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait on that. If all of that is good, then we're gonna switch the car off, put the filter back on, because that's now the only thing that is still off is the filter. This car might stuck here in the yard without petrol. So another problem is how are we gonna do our checks if there's no petrol in the car. So we must go and buy petrol so that we can check. I just hope it's gonna be enough to let the heat gauge go to half, and it's fine. Then the car can be stuck. Then we can basically take our time on fetching fuel. Otherwise, if not, we're gonna have to fetch the fuel, because we have to do our checks. We have to check the car before we give it to the customer. That's why we don't like the word hasty. Yeah, that's just one thing, a rush. I've given a car back like that before. I didn't even really check the car. I just let the car run its heat cycle onto the heat gauge, and then didn't even let the car cool down, because the owner was here waiting for the car. Because then I used the car to go to the space one time to do my check, and then I had to put more water in. Basically, now let it have to cool down first, put more water in. But anyway, just need to check. It's best. If not, you can have problems. Experienced that before. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when we head off. As you can see where he is now. You can't even see. Closer I go, the darker it gets. I'm gonna keep the camera there and put the ignition, the lights on, sorry, and see the next difference. Oh, but there is lights. It's just very dumb. It's for at night. But anyway, there we go. So I'll get back with you shortly. Alright, So we just stuck, and look where's the heat gauge. Nope. See there, it's not yet. So now we need to go and get petrol. Just before. Good morning, guys. So the polo is complete. Sorry that I'm busy. I'm just fitting the wheelbarrows out of my buggy quick. But took a drive of the car and there's wheel bearing noise, so we're just gonna change that wheel bearings also quickly. So just bringing you guys with.
The old
Alright.
bearings also.
So as you can see there, my dad is busy putting it back already. Old bearings is out, new bearings is in already. Here's the old bearings. So not long. So there you can see, left hand side is done. Busy with the right hand side now, as you saw. So almost done. Yeah, so guys, wheels are done, good to go. The crank seal that was supplied is leaking, so we're gonna need to either change that seal. Well, I would suggest changing the seal because that's not the quite seal that was supplied with the gasket set. And then there was also a water leak, but it's on the radiator itself. This radiator was blocked, so we had it clean, and now that the radiator is clean, we see that there's a leak through the radiator. So I don't suggest stop leak. The stop leak will block the system. It can block the system. It's not impossible, because it's designed to block holes. So in other words, block leaks or stop leaks. That's why hence the name stop leak. But it can also go and sit in your ports and block. So I'm assuming that this radiator was maybe leaking. They threw stop leak in to stop the leak, and then it stopped the leak and blocked up the head. That's why this head looked like that. I don't think I showed the head before. So I'm just gonna grab my phone for a light. So look there, that's one that's open. Look at this one. Look at that small khatsi there. Look at that. Look at that one. So see how blocked is this? Water holes. Check that one completely. This hole can't even open up. So yeah. So that's what it can do. So I would suggest basically replacing the radiator, but we're here. So for now, that's a wrap, guys. Peace out. The K vlogs. We out.